live in Maine. I grew up in Addison, Maine, which is down east here in Maine. I lived there for 23 years. I'm 30 years old now. I live in central Maine, but Addison, like I said, it's down east. It's a big lobster fishing community. You know, you live right on the Atlantic Ocean, and all that kind of stuff. So just to give you an idea where I grew up, some people say I haven't grown up yet, but whatever. Anyways, today I'm doing a video. Just like to share an experience I had back in 1992 when I was 10. Or I may have been 9. I was getting ready to turn 10. I believe it was in September of 1992 or August, something like that. But anyways, you know, I've always been intrigued by aliens, UFOs, time travel, all that kind of stuff. A lot of people think it's pretty bizarre and there's absolutely no truth to it. I look at it a little bit different. You gotta think outside the box a little bit. That's just me. And why are these people coming out, you know, and they were in the military 60 years ago or 70 years ago, and now they're coming out telling us about the Roswell incident and stuff like that. They have nothing to lose now. That's why they're coming out and letting everybody know what happened. That's just one incident. There's a lot of other things out there. So I'd like to share an experience that I had back in 1992. Like I said, it was probably August. There was no snow on the ground or anything. But me, my brother, and my dad were in Addison, Maine, where we lived, and we'd always take rides at night. My brother and I would always hound my dad to let us go for a ride because we were bored, didn't want to go to sleep. Well, one night, it was my dad, my brother, and I, and we went down to Cape Split. It's right on the water in Addison, right on the Atlantic Ocean in Addison. And we were just parked there. My dad was smoking a cigarette, and my brother and I, we were just, I don't know, probably, I don't know what the heck we were doing, probably just talking about something, but we had the radio on. It was on Lucky 99.1 FM as a local radio station for down East Maine at the time. A lot of people that are watching this probably know what I'm talking about. But anyways, it was a bright night. The moon was bright. There were barely any clouds in the sky. I mean, barely, like 1 or 2 or something like that. And the water was nice and crystally from the moonlight and everything like that. We were sitting there, and my dad says, "What the heck is that?" And I'm like, "What?" And he goes, "Look over by that island. What is that?" And it was an island right in, you know, in the water. It was like a mile away. And when I looked, I saw a light coming up over the island. It was an amber light, and then a second one right after it. What the heck is that? My dad had his window rolled down. There was absolutely no noise. If it was a helicopter, you could have heard that, or a jet, plane. You hear that stuff all the time, a long ways away. A mile is not that far away. But like I said, it was amber, and it was 2 circles, one right after the other. Well, they started, you know, I was just, you know, looking at him, and my dad was like, "What the heck is that?" You know, he used to get fired up really quick. He's not with us anymore, so I wish he could tell the story as well, but he passed away in 2007. I don't want to get on that. Anyways, my brother's still here though, so he can back up my claims. Anyways, so these lights, they come up one after another, and they started moving slowly, steadily but slowly. And the radio station went staticky, like 10 seconds after we saw these lights, you know? And my brother started going crazy. "Ah, what the heck," you know? My brother's a short, fused guy, so he was back then, and he still is now. He's a little better now, but I just remember my dad saying, BJ, that's my brother's name, "Shut up, be quiet." And I wasn't saying anything because I was, taking it all in. So these two lights started going up the river, right towards the town of Addison. So my dad got the idea of, hey, let's see if we can see him up by the bridge in Addison, which was about 6 miles away. At one point, when we were driving, my dad said he was going 70 miles an hour, and we couldn't keep up with these things. You could barely see him through the trees, but you could only see the lights. There was nothing else. I couldn't see a saucer. I couldn't make anything out. Just that little amber light. Well, we got to the Addison Bridge and we stopped. So if you're at the Addison Bridge and you stopped where we were, the river would be on your left, or left, whichever way you can see here. So if you're sitting in the car, it'd be coming up on the driver's side. Well, maybe like a minute and a half after we stopped, at first we didn't see anything. My dad's like, oh, they must have left or something. Well, no, they didn't. We were looking, and bam, here they come. They were maybe going like 30 miles an hour. The lights were probably as big as a car. And there was absolutely no sound, like I said before. My dad had his window rolled down, and there was absolutely no sound whatsoever. And at this point, they were probably a quarter of a mile from us. So at that point, I was just like, whoa, what is this, Cool. I wasn't saying anything. And my brother was still on edge. It's almost like he knew, like, it was not supposed to be right or something. I don't know. But when we were at the bridge and they started coming up towards us on the bridge, the radio didn't go staticky at that point. It wasn't staticky then. I don't know if my dad turned it off or what, but I don't remember hearing any static. So once we saw them coming up the river when we were on the bridge, it was more like 15 to 20 seconds, and we were watching them. There was two of them, like I said. All of a sudden, we heard this, like when a jet's getting ready to take off. We heard a, and then bam, they were gone. Absolutely gone. Nothing around. Both of them. And it didn't make any sound except for that noise I just made, something like that. But it wasn't like there was a light and then, like, completely off. We actually saw the two lights go up a little bit and then they vanished. It was amazing. I don't know if it's man-made or if it's an ET craft. I've told this story a few times to my friends. And they always shake their head. Oh, wow, that's cool. I don't know if they believe it. I believe it, because I was there. My brother was there. He's still alive. He can tell you the same exact story. My dad's not around, so he can't back me up on this. But yeah, and I had an alien book at the time. A UFO book or something, I can't remember what it was. My dad wrote down the date in it so we'd know when it happened. There was no lost time, nothing ever took place. It's just one of those things, it's unexplainable. I don't know if they just, they can go invisible, they make a noise and then go invisible, or they really did, boom, take right off. It wouldn't surprise me in a bit if they went that fast. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. But